The festive season is upon us once again, and that means it's time for FIFA Football Mundial's annual pilgrimage to Japan to discover who'll become the world's club champions. Last year, the FIFA Club World Championship, first held in 2000, replaced the Toyota Cup and became a tournament featuring the champion clubs of FIFA's 6 confederations. Now called the FIFA Club World Cup, this year Egypt's Al Ahly represented Africa, New Zealand's Auckland City, Oceania, Spain's Barcelona, Europe, Mexico's Club America, CONCACAF, South Korea's Jeonbuk, Asia, and Brazil's Internacional, South America. Not surprisingly, the main focus of attention was dedicated to Spanish and European champions Barcelona. The likes of Ronaldinho, Deco, Puyol and co are a big draw in Asia, and this was the perfect opportunity to increase the club's profile in Japan, a market that's been dominated by fellow Spaniards Real Madrid and England's Manchester United in recent times. But the only thing occupying the players' thoughts was the silverware up for grabs. And no wonder. They were on the verge of creating history, even for a team as successful as Barcelona.
It's been said quite a few times that it's sort of the only trophy that they're missing in their cabinet, so I think it's a great occasion and a great trophy to win, and to be part of a team that does that in the first time in Barcelona history would be amazing.
The frenzy surrounding the Blaugrana was in stark contrast to the interest created by New Zealand's Auckland City. The club was formed only 2 years ago as part of the country's revamped domestic league. The players are amateurs and combine their jobs with football. Their preparations for the competition weren't helped by the sacking of coach Roger Wilkinson. Alan Jones replaced him just 11 days before their first game. Jones had only left the team after the Oceania qualifiers in May to take charge of his country's senior women's team. It came as no surprise then that the Minnows finished bottom of the pile. After losing their quarter-final to Egypt's Al Ahly 2-0, they went down 3-0 to South Korea's Jeonbuk Motors in the playoff for 5th-6th place. The Kiwis failed to score in Japan, but mixing it with the likes of Barcelona was an unforgettable experience.
To see the sort of the mentality of players, their attitude and things like that, it's something for our guys to have a look at. I mean, we're part-timers, we're playing for enjoyment. We have a bit of laughter. These guys are a little bit serious. They put the work in. It's basically their job. You know, for us, it's, for most of us, it'll probably be a one-off thing. Being part of it and trying to get the most of it in terms of enjoyment.
The members of Japan's official Barcelona fan club turned out to see their heroes in the flesh in training. It said they numbered more than the attendance Auckland usually attract for their home fixtures in New Zealand. As champions of Europe, Barca were automatically through to the semi-finals, as were Brazil's Internacional, champions of South America. The absence of the injured Samuel Eto'o and Lionel Messi was a disappointment for the locals and a setback for a club who are aiming to avenge defeat to Brazil's Sao Paulo in the Toyota Cup 14 years ago. Their semi-final opponents were Club America, who defeated Jeonbuk 1-0 in the previous round. But the Mexicans were no match for the Blaugrana after Ida Gudjonsson put Barca in front. And a header from their very own Mexican Rafael Marquez doubled the advantage on the half hour. The two sides had played a friendly in the States in August, which ended in a 4-4 draw. How different this was to be. Ronaldinho delighted the locals, making it 3-0 in the second half. And Deco completed the rout with the goal of the game.
There's always room for improvement. When you have a winning mentality, you're never satisfied. That's how the rest of the lads feel too. And we have to get sharper in certain areas and try to give our best and not take it easy, like we did tonight.
Their opponents in the final were Brazil's Internacional. The Colorado won the Copa Libertadores for the first time in August, but no sooner had the celebrations died down in Porto Alegre than a handful of first-choice players departed for Europe. They included Rafael Sobis and Tinga, both scorers in the final, against the holders and reigning FIFA Club World Champions, Sao Paulo. Their semi-final against Al Ahly of Egypt was a closer affair. Their latest sensation, 17-year-old Alexandre Pato, put Inter one up. The Egyptians equalised, but Luis Adriano gave the Brazilians a 2-1 win. And their coach, Abel Braga, wasn't overawed by the big-name opponents waiting for them in the final.
We didn't face as much quality as they did on their way to the Champions League title. But they didn't encounter as many difficulties as we did on our way to lifting the Copa Libertadores. Inferior stadia and pitches, journeys of up to 20 hours, twice a month here and there, whereas they only had trips of 2 hours maximum.
Like last year, Yokohama's International Stadium was the venue for the final. Inter were hoping to make it a Brazilian hat-trick of wins in this competition after Corinthians triumphed in 2000 and Sao Paulo last year. Frank Rijkaard was hoping his team would be the first European winners, and it was the Spaniards who took the game to the South Americans, Deco stinging the palms of Inter goalkeeper Clemer before Ronaldinho hit the side netting following up. But Inter had their chances too. Barca switched off at the back to let in Indio. His shot, though, proved just why he's a defender. With 8 minutes remaining and penalties looming, Inter finally broke the deadlock. Adriano the scorer, and he'd only entered the field as a substitute 6 minutes earlier. Barca desperately went in search of the equaliser, firstly through Deco, the player of the tournament. The competition's oldest player, 38-year-old Clemer, saved spectacularly. Then Ronaldinho, prepared to take a free kick. Agonisingly close. "1-0 it remained, and Inter ensured the trophy stayed in Brazil to cap off an incredible year for the team who for so long...
I think it's an historic achievement to beat a team as strong as Barcelona. We're very happy and we're going to enjoy the success.
Another mass exodus of players from Inter to Europe is likely to follow. But for now, they're basking in the glory. Officially, they're the best club in the world.